plus 1 times 2 to the negative 3, right? So it's just 1/8.
Of course, the problem with that is if you try to represent, say, 0.1,
Uh-huh.
that one never terminates, as it turns out.
Okay, why would it not? So you do it like this. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it doesn't have to always terminate. It can keep going on.
Right, so you can just add more bits for more precision, like with regular repeating fractions.
Right.
It's just that repeating fractions in binary don't line up nicely with repeating fractions in decimal.
Yes, correct.
And neither of them like something like 0.3.
Yeah.
Or I should say 1/3, because 0.3 is a perfectly fine decimal.
Yeah, recurring 0.3333 is going to be a problem. Okay. Okay, so using this process, you can actually convert this f bar in binary, and so you will get 0.001 here, and then you will get 0.1 here, 10. Then you will have 0.1, 101, 0.1111. And then you want to find the length of the code. So as I told you, the length of this is going to be log of 1 over px plus 1. Okay, let's write it as L of x. Okay, so in this case, the lengths are 3, 2, 4, and 4. So what you do is you just pick the 3 bits, pick the 2 bits here, and these are your code. So the code is 001 10 11 01 11 11. So this is the Shannon-Fano alias code. Okay, we can take another example here.
That is a remarkably clever system.
Right.
Would you be able to go over the green numbers just one more time, how you got those? Sorry, for some reason I'm missing it.
Okay, so
how they're calculated. I'm not
okay,
sure.
so the formula was f of x minus 1 plus half of the probability. Okay, so let's look at the first number. Maybe so this number is equals to 0 plus 0.25 over 2. So the previous cumulant is 0. Okay, so this one here, this is what 0.25 plus 0.5 over 2.
Okay, got it. Easy enough.
So I mean, we are taking this number, half it, and add it to the. Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense. For some reason, I wasn't catching it. Okay, thank you.
No, that's good. Hopefully, people who watch the recording can also figure it out. Okay. Okay, let's take another example before we wrap up. So let's say we have an x, we have the probability of x, there will be some fx, f bar of x, then f bar of x in binary, and we have L of x, and then the code. So we just have three symbols here. The probability is 0.5, 0.25, 0.25. Okay. So the cumulative is very simple. The first cumulative is just the probability itself, so it's 0.5. Then you need to add them. So 0.75. Then this gets added, so it's 1.0. F bar now is going to be going to write here 0 plus 0.5 over 2. This is the 0.5 that we're using. Okay, so what we get is 0.125. 0.25. Okay, then the next one is basically use a different color here. We're using this number and this 0.5 plus 0.25 over 2. So it comes up to be 0.625. And then the last one is 0.875. Okay, now again binary. So I will do this binary thing for you. So 0.25 in binary. We have 0.25 times 2 will give you 0.50. 0.50 gives you 1.0. That's it. So it's 0, 1. So 0.625 in binary. So it's 1.25. So we keep the 1 and we take the 0.25 and then do the same with 0.5. And then it's 1.0. So we keep these numbers. So 1 or 1. So same thing, the last one is going to be 1, 1, 1. Okay, now the length, again the length has to be, is the log of, is the ceiling of the log of 1 over p of x, and then you add 1. So for the first one it's going to be log of 2, well it's log base 2. So log 2 of 1 over 0.5 is just 1, so 1 plus 1 is 2. So you get 2 here, you get 3 here, and you get 3 here. Oh god. So this one was 0. Sorry for this. In binary we still have the decimal. And then after that we just pick however many however much is the length of the code, we just pick those numbers after the decimal. So we just pick the two digits, which is 0, 1, 101, and 111. So that's the Shannon alias coding. So in your future homeworks and assignments, I think you should be able to construct codes like this and compare them in terms of the length. So for example, the same ensemble with x and the p of x, can you construct a Shannon code? Can you Shannon Fano code, and can you construct a Huffman code? Can you compare their average lengths and so on? So I guess this is the end of symbol codes that we have been talking about, where you have symbols and probabilities and you want to compress data using some coding schemes.
Quick reminder. So to
Yeah.
find the average length of the code, we just take the L of X we found here, multiply it by the probabilities and sum, same as usual?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
But it's going to be different because, this Shannon Fano code has this +1 bit. So on
Right.
average, if the Huffman encoder can achieve a length of h of x, this code is going to achieve an average length of h of x +1.
Yep.
Okay, so any other questions?
I'm assuming we don't need to worry about whether or not this thing satisfies the Kraft inequality.
Yeah, you probably don't. Yeah.
Also, does this always create prefix codes?
That's a good question. I have to check.
I kind of
think it
suspect
does.
there's no guarantee it will, but so far it kind of has.
Yeah, it does, but there's no guarantee. You're right. Let me just verify this one more time. No, it does actually. It's just so it does create prefix codes, but it's not minimizing the expected length. Yeah, let me just verify. Just give me one moment. Check my notes here. One second. So the way Huffman is done, we try to minimize the lengths, and subject to the fact that Kraft inequality is satisfied, there shouldn't be a question there. But this one, just a second. It does. So it does satisfy Kraft inequality.
Hmm.
Yes, it's. But the thing is satisfying Kraft inequality is not a guarantee of prefix codes. So they're uniquely decodable, that's for sure. So we are in this diagram that we saw last time in the table, but we may not be in the prefix code regime.
Yeah, because I was looking at this, and it's basically directly correlated on a function of the probability values. I imagine it's a monotonically increasing value, but I'm not necessarily sure that would guarantee you don't get something that sort of backtracks in the tree a bit. Not sure.
For this coding,
Yeah, it doesn't have a tree, but looking at it the same way.
well, I mean, it's not, we are not reading it out of the tree, so there's no guarantee that we are going to have prefix property.
Exactly.
But the good thing about this code is it's based on cumulative distribution. So notice that we move from knowing the probability distribution exactly to knowing just the cumulative distribution. Oftentimes, cumulative is easier to obtain. You don't have to get the actual um, probability numbers. It's like a percentile or a, I mean, cumulative is a count, right? You count how many times this has happened, how many times
Yeah.
this something less than this has happened. So it's easier to estimate than estimating exactly the p of x. We will also see this when we go to inference a couple of lectures later, I think. How do we infer the distribution from the data points? This thing is going to come up again. But yeah, I think for the next lecture, when we look at stream codes, they are a little bit more robust to distributions. Okay, I think that's good for today. If you have other questions, let me know.
Thank you.
Okay. All right then. Have a good day. And so the next quiz is going to be is not going to be out today. So people have asked me if I can move the quiz until Sunday. So hopefully this time the quiz is going to be out maybe tomorrow sometime, and then you can complete it until Sunday, end of the day. Just to allow you more time to read through the material and absorb, try to figure out if there is something that is not clear. Okay, so I'll fix the notes and upload them, and hopefully we see you next week. All right.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.